In the name of Almighty, the entirely merciful and the especially merciful. Honorable Secretary to Government, Department of Disaster Management, Relief, Rehabilitation and Reconstruction, Government of J&K, Shri Nazim Zaidan Khan Sir, our esteemed Principal Secretary to Government, Department of Higher Education and School Education, Government of Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Alok Kumar Sir, our revered Director Colleges, Department of Higher Education, Government of J&K, Professor Dr. Yasmin Ashai Ma'am, worthy Nodal Principal, Kashmir Division Colleges, Professor Dr. Sheikh Aijaz Bashir Sir, Principal of the Host College, Professor Dr. Seema Naz Ma'am, Principals from different colleges, Principals from the Department of School Education, SDRF Team 1st Division, 1st Battalion J&K, Consultants from the Department of DMRRR, all other dignitaries and students. I welcome you all. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. At the very outset, I would like to get your attention towards the fact that we all belong to Jammu and Kashmir. And this region is vulnerable to multiple disasters. In the past, we have witnessed a number of disasters and we suffered a lot, both in terms of life as well as property. Jammu and Kashmir is a multi-hazard prone area and we are vulnerable to earthquakes, floods, landslides, avalanches, cloudbursts, windstorms, besides human-induced disasters as well. Why is Jammu and Kashmir vulnerable to multiple disasters? Were born due to a massive tectonic event. And what was that tectonic event? Basically, our Indo-Australian plate collided with the Eurasian plate, and under the impact of this collision, the Himalayas were formed. But surprisingly, the Himalayas are still rising because the two plates are still in a state of convergence. Recently, researchers at the University of Chicago discovered that about half of the original mass of India and Eurasia were plunged into the Earth's mantle due to this convergence. Now, where lies Jammu and Kashmir? Jammu and Kashmir lies along the convergent zone of these two tectonic plates. Here, the stress builds up in the fault zones, and the sudden release of seismic stress can cause large earthquakes. That is why we in Jammu and Kashmir are disturbed by seismic shocks intermittently. As far as the seismic zonation of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, the entire Kashmir Valley and some parts of Jammu Division falls in seismic zone 5, where very high risk earthquakes with the intensity of more than 8 are expected. Similarly, rest of Jammu and Kashmir falls in seismic zone 4, where high risk earthquakes up to the intensity of 8 are expected. It implies that the whole Jammu and Kashmir either falls in seismic zone 5 or seismic zone 4, which is a matter of concern for all the stakeholders. This is how we are vulnerable to earthquakes due to our geographical location. Now, talking about the layout of Kashmir Valley, which is prone to flooding. We know Kashmir Valley is a boat-shaped valley, surrounded by mountains from all sides, and we are vulnerable to floods. Here, flood vulnerability is increasing with time due to mismanagement of Jhelum floodplain, encroachment of water bodies, siltation of water courses, and climate change. Now, talking about the lithology and topography of Jammu and Kashmir. Geologically, we have very young, unconsolidated and fragile rocks in Jammu and Kashmir. And these rocks are prone to landslides. Here, the vulnerability of landslides is increasing due to disturbance with the slope stability on account of encroachments on hill slopes, unscientific land use pattern, and poor drainage system. Now the image of Jammu and Kashmir is very clear. Where does we stand in the hazard map of the world? Are not we vulnerable to multiple disasters, and the vulnerability is still increasing? And what is our preparation to face these events? What is our preparation at different levels? What is our preparation at the individual level? Let us introspect. I will ask you a very simple question. How many of us have kept a ladder at our home which can be used in the hazard? Do we have? No. How many of us have kept a rope and a source of water which can be used in case of immediate rescue? Do we have? No. This is our preparation at the individual level. Now, what is our preparation at the community level? What is our preparation at the institutional level? And what is our preparation at the government level? These are some of the questions we all need to ponder upon, and with these questions in mind, we are organizing this 2-day workshop on disaster preparedness of Jammu and Kashmir in collaboration with the Department of Disaster Management, Relief, Rehabilitation and Reconstruction, Government of J&K under India's presidency of G20. And the objective of this workshop is to sensitize all the stakeholders, our academicians, experts, researchers, policymakers, administrators, students, and NSS volunteers regarding the disaster vulnerability of Jammu and Kashmir and the need to have a proper planning and preparedness mechanism. One thing is certain, that we can't prevent hazards, but we can prevent hazards becoming disasters, and this is possible only when all the stakeholders will join hands together for a common cause to serve the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you very much.